All right, I think that works. That works. I got to figure it out. I hit the right button and everything. I hit the right button and everything. Hello, Vaxer. How you doing, man? Just opening up all of the things that I need to open up. I always forget to open up the activity feed before I start the stream. Let me see if this works. 1 minute too early? Well, that happens. There we go. Hey there, JB. Hey, Joel, Ross, Nick, Cal, Jay, Vern. How's it going, everybody? Hey, David, Air, Ray, Bernard. Look at all you guys showing up right away. You guys make my day all of the time. You guys are just so cool. Hey there, Fred, and Pat, and Big Mantis. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a great day. Yeah, I was about to record a video and I decided I don't really feel like recording a video. I just feel like having a conversation with people. I know F1 is out. I did not get a review copy. But maybe they listened to me when I said I don't really like that kind of game. I would like to check it out though. Maybe this will be the one that convinces me. You just did an interview. Stress relieved. Oh, so you're looking for a job, JB? You got another job interview tomorrow? That's good. Best of luck to you. Love the rumors about Orcs Must Die 3. Yeah, I think that those are very interesting. It doesn't feel like a rumor, though. It feels like they accidentally pushed a video too soon. Now, I didn't personally see it on the official site, so I can't 100% say that it's not a rumor, but if it's... I saw the video, like not a repost of the video, a mirror of the video, and I feel like it looks pretty legit. Death Stranding is released in July 14th on Steam, also on Stadia. I don't know, maybe. I could not care less about Death Stranding. Even if they gave me a review copy, I probably wouldn't play it. It's just not something that I'm interested in. You want Fallout 76? I've heard that Fallout 76 kind of started real bad, and I don't know if it improved or not, but when it first came out, a lot of people were pretty unhappy with it. Good afternoon, Trev. You want Warzone on Stadia? Yeah. You know what I'd like? I would like, I haven't played it yet. My son was playing it this morning. What the heck is the name of that game? It's like the new CSGO game that has, like heroes in it. Dead Player says 76 is good with the Wastelanders expansion. All right, cool. William Millard finally made a stream. I've seen you at streams plenty of times, Will. Valorant, thank you, Arcade and Ray and Dead and David. Or no, not David. Yeah, Valorant. My son was playing Valorant this morning. The game looks really good. And I would like to play it on Stadia rather than get it installed and everything. Hey, Rez, what's up, man? Can we get a bunch of Lloyd emotes in chat to celebrate the fact that Lloyd is here? Hey, David Rodriguez Jr. How's it going, man? David Rodriguez Jr. is the one that made those Bill and Lloyd emotes because he's super, super talented. Ghosty Boy, just because it's not hard to run doesn't mean that I don't want it on Stadia. I want to be able to play it on whatever screen that I feel like. Like, a lot of times I play in here, but I also would like to be able to play in the room across the hall. I'd like to be able to play on the big TV downstairs. It's not about disk space. It's about I want to be able to play it where I feel like playing it. By the way, if you guys could do me a favor and click on that like button, it would be super, super awesome. I really appreciate it when you guys do that. It definitely helps. But hey, man, this is open mic. That means we're going to talk about the things that you guys want to talk about. So right now, what are the things that you guys want me to talk about? Real quick, I want to take a second and thank Mike D, who recently became a member, and Jack Deslipe, probably said that wrong. So because they're not here, I'm going to go ahead and repeat the memberships for those two guys because they did it while we were offline. But thank you. Sam says, I've really been enjoying West of Loathing recently. First time in ages I've laughed out loud at a game. Yeah, I don't feel like I've played very many comedy-focused games, like ever. Like, I never got interested in comedy-focused games. That doesn't mean that I think they're bad. I just never got into them. And when I played West of Loathing, I didn't finish it. In fact, I didn't get very far in it, mostly because I had too many other things to play. But when I ended up playing West of Loathing, I laughed. That game is very funny. William, is the Connect the same day as their smart home event? I don't have an answer for you with that. I don't know when their smart home event is. Oh, the smart home event is tomorrow? Okay. So Sam, did you pick up F1? Are you really enjoying it? Elder Scrolls Online has got me pretty bad. I'm having a hard time trying to play other things. Bernard Baker, yeah. I have a level 46 or 47 Warden. And I have a level 31 or 32 Dragon Knight. I'm loving that game. Res TV says, oh, news update for you all. I took next Tuesday off for the Stadia Connect. Bill and I will be reacting and giving you all of our thoughts on the announcements. That's right. Lloyd and I are going to be doing a live stream for the Stadia Connect, which is on the 14th. I need to make a thumbnail for that and stuff. Arcade Buster, do you think that Rocket League will come to Stadia? I mean, look, Rocket League's on every other platform. Epic Games knows that if they give people the ability to play that game, they're going to play it and they're going to make money. And I think Epic Games is doing a lot of smart things because they're smart. Now, some of the things I don't like what they're doing, but it doesn't take away from the fact that they're smart things to do because it's going to help their business. So do I think Rocket League will come to Stadia? I think eventually, yeah. It has to. Same with Fortnite. And every other game by Epic Games. What are you hoping to hear and see from the Connect event? Well, obviously, Orcs Must Die 3. We're going to hear about that. I mean, we already knew we were going to hear about that because of what they said. What else will we probably hear about? I think that we will hear about Kine. Is it Kine? I think that's the name of the game. Let me go to the esrb.org. If I can spell that right. So I don't know what this is going to look like. Hold on. There we go. I just got to bring this down a little. All right. So if you go to ESRB and you click on Stadia, Kona, not Kine, Kona. I think we're going to hear about Kona as that's been rated by the ESRB. Generally, things get rated by the ESRB pretty quickly. Are pretty announcements tend to be made shortly thereafter a game is rated by the ESRB. Now, we already knew that Kona was coming to Stadia, but now we have it rated by the ESRB. We also have, we talked about this a little bit, Lloyd and I did the other day, with WWE 2K Battlegrounds has been rated by the ESRB for Stadia. So there's that. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now, is that the one? That's the 3D one, not the top-down one, right? There was also another Tomb Raider game. I can't remember the name of it. And I can't see chat right now because chat's like hiding behind this. Maddie, thanks for the sub. And Jack, thanks for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. Relicta has been rated for the ESRB. So my guess is we'll hear about that on the 14th. RBI Baseball has been rated. We'll probably hear about that as well, although I've played RBI Baseball, I don't know, I think 18 and 19. They're not great games. I mean, if you want a baseball game and you don't have any other choice, then there you go. Where is that other Tomb Raider game? We'll probably hear a release date for PGA Tour. If we don't, actually, I think we already have one of those, but I'm not positive. Why is that not going? There we go. We might hear about Celeste and One Hand Clapping. What I hope that they don't do is show us a bunch of games that we already have. Like, that's not what you're doing. That's not what you should be doing at a Stadia Connect. Oh, here we go. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. I know that we're waiting for that game, and it's already been announced, but I think we'll probably hear more about that now that it's been rated by the ESRB. Probably Gunsport. If they're smart, they'll do something with Crata that shows off people creating. I think that would be a good thing, even though we can already do it. I think it's good to show how Crata can be used. Let's see. I think that's it for leaks from the ESRB. And yeah, I would love to hear new features for the platform. Like, we already have access to State Share through Crata, and there's rumors that we're going to be getting State Share in Monster Boy, in Monster Boy. And I would like to see State Share in other games too. Arcade Buster, do I think Hyperscape will be on Stadia? I mean, it depends on if it's going to come to consoles, because I think that, look, Hyperscape is a game from Ubisoft. Ubisoft has generally been a really big supporter of Stadia. We've seen a lot of their games coming to Stadia. So, do I think it's possible that Hyperscape comes? Then I think that, yeah, I think that that's a definite possibility. William, any thoughts on what Sabrina might offer that the CCU does not, other than a new interface? The new interface is all it needs. It needs, like right now, the Chromecast is awesome, but it has no interface. And because it has no interface, the Stadia interface is kind of bolted onto it. And that's why I think that the Stadia interface on the Chromecast Ultra is so chuggy and slow. Like, you play a game and it works just fine, but then you bring up the interface and it's really chuggy and slow. And so what I think is, because it has a remote, reportedly, and the fact that it can have if it has a remote, then it has to have an interface. And if it has an interface, then Stadia will probably run better. And so, you go to inputting text on a Roku, it's a disaster. You input text on Stadia, it's a disaster. You input text on a smart TV, it's a disaster. I bet that they make it easier for you to input text, or at least the text input is faster. Jem, I agree with you. The fact that they partnered with Twitch, it makes it less likely. But, I mean, how hard is it to translate those Twitch features to crowd choice features? You know? Oh, I think we'll also hear some more about Baldur's Gate 3. Like, that game, early access, is supposed to come in August, maybe. So I think that that's a possibility, too. Vern wants to be able, or is wondering if we'll be able to pair a wireless keyboard and mouse to Sabrina. I think that's a possibility. It's if it has a remote, then it's going to have Bluetooth, and if it has Bluetooth, then that takes away any reason to not have a Bluetooth keyboard. In which case, I will take the Bluetooth keyboard that I have currently hooked up to my Nintendo Switch, and I will unhook it from my Switch because I never use it on my Switch, and hook it up to my my Chromecast Ultimate here in this room. Which means, and don't tell anybody, but that means that I'll have to buy the new Chromecast Ultra, Project Sabrina, which I wasn't really planning on doing that. But if it has the ability to hook up like a little Bluetooth thing, then I kind of have to. By the way, I'm talking much quieter than I usually do so I don't wear out my voice. How is it sounding when I talk at this level right now? Alex the Nerd Gamer, Bill, do you think the Ubisoft Forward event will see some Stadia and I'm thinking he means Stadia news. It depends. Is the Ubisoft Forward event before or after the Stadia Connect? Because I can't remember. If it's after, then probably they'll talk more about Stadia stuff. But if it's before, then I'm guessing that they'll probably wait for the Stadia Connect, which I personally think is a mistake. I think that that's a mistake to wait for. Okay, if it's before the Stadia Connect, I think that it's a mistake to wait for the Stadia Connect because the people who are watching the Stadia Connect are already excited about Stadia stuff. So it makes more sense for Ubisoft to show off this stuff because that's going to get people more excited for Stadia, if that makes sense. Andrew Hull says, Uplay Plus. I mean, Uplay Plus is apparently already out. I haven't tried. I don't have it. But it's already out, and we're just waiting for Stadia support. It depends on how many games they were able to get ported. Dev says, is there a chance they will talk about new countries in the Kinect? I think there's always a chance. I mean, you go to an Apple keynote. Don't go to one, but you watch an Apple keynote, and they, like, every single time they're like, and by the way, we now support these languages. You go to an Android keynote, like at Google I/O, and they'll say, and by the way, we now support these languages. Why wouldn't they suddenly say, and by the way, Stadia is now supported in, these countries as well? I mean, unless they're not going to add those countries yet because of reasons. But I think if they're going to make an announcement like that, they're going to do it as part of a Kinect. Wish Stadia made Bluetooth headphones enabled. You're going to get lag with Bluetooth headphones. I think you're better off without Bluetooth headphones. Like, I use these headphones. And these are wireless, but they're not Bluetooth because Bluetooth is laggy. And this is not laggy. So they use a different audio interface, I guess. These are fantastic headphones, though, but they're also really, like, stupid expensive. I don't know what makes them low latency, but they're low latency. Any surprises you're hoping out of this Kinect that haven't been leaked or rumored? Yeah, the thing that Okay, well, Lloyd, I have not tried that with video games. I've only ever tried that with video. And to be fair, it was a while ago, so maybe Bluetooth has gotten better since then. Thanks, Lloyd. Any surprises? I'm hoping that they will say, and by the way, here's your YouTube integration. That's the biggest thing that I personally, for me, that I'm waiting for, that I think is going to be a huge game changer for Stadia, is YouTube integration. And I really hope that in addition to that, they bring along the people from YouTube Gaming and they say, and by the way, this is the new interface for YouTube Gaming and it's awesome. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. I fully expect to be disappointed, though. I don't think that we're going to get that. Yeah, Joe Viderman, we already talked about that. I love how you and Lloyd are best friends. Lloyd, should we tell him that you and I rarely talk outside of the podcast? We just don't have time. We're both so busy. We message each other on Discord. That's pretty much it, though. Although we were talking earlier today on Discord about stuff. I took my niece driving. She's getting her driver's license test here soon, and we were just driving around town, and she's really good at this point, so she doesn't. I don't have to like watch like a hawk, you know. I don't have to sit there like that. So I spent most of the time chatting with Lloyd. Raul, how long have you known Lloyd? I don't know. I'm not sure how long I've known Lloyd because, I mean, podcasting is a second job, right? And so since starting podcasting, I'm basically working all the time. All the time. I'm always working. I work 90% of my day, either through working on school stuff for my students, or which even happens during the summer. I make videos during the summer for my students, to use for next year, or working on podcast stuff or playing a game to do research so that I know more about it. Thanks for the sub. So like I'm always working, and the days just kind of bleed together. But Lloyd and I have known each other for a couple of years now. So, okay, so... No. So there you go. Sometime around December 2017 was when we met. Capcom's not staying distant. Capcom is already working with them. We already knew that Capcom is working on Stadia games. They just haven't announced which ones they are. But Sarah White does have a very good point that these Japanese developers, they may be more interested in bringing games to the platform if they can sell their games in their home countries. But if it's just a port, then maybe not. Sarah White says, we still have yet to hear a single squeak about Capcom since the presentation last year. So, just because you haven't heard from them doesn't mean that it's not happening. This is something that people fall into all the time. They think just because the companies have their heads down and aren't talking about stuff doesn't mean, that means that they're not going to work on it. My guess is that they are hard at work making some game that is coming to, or porting some games that are coming to Stadia, and they're not going to say anything until they're done, which is honestly the right move to do. There's far too often companies announce things way too early, and then they regret it because they have to delay things. Cyberpunk is a perfect example of that. CD Projekt Red should have stayed quiet about that game and not said a word until they were ready. Same thing with Square Enix and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, we heard about that for like 4 years in a row at E3. Didn't Doom 2016 recently get rated by the ESRB for Stadia as well? I think it did. Man, look at all these green names, Lloyd. This is awesome. I think that Nameless Ninja, I think that the silence only feels like abandonment to people who are myopic. Games take a really, really long time to make. Jem says, yeah, 2016 got rated, but I lost complete hype over it since Doom Eternal is amazing. Doom Eternal is amazing, and if you ask me, way better than Doom 2016. But Doom 2016 is also a really, really good game. How long have you been collecting memorabilia behind you? Probably around 2 years. It's I started when I built this room, and when I say I built this room, I mean I paid somebody who knows how to do that stuff to build this room. Because I used to share my wife's sewing room as my streaming room, and so I had a green screen behind me in order to hide all of the sewing stuff behind me. And then we decided to build 2 rooms upstairs in our attic So my bedroom is across the hall, and then here's my office. My wife and I moved up here. This is our little apartment now, basically. And I had some shelf space, and I had a Nintendo, which you can see like right there. And that was pretty much it. And then I went on eBay and bought a bunch of the memorabilia behind me over a couple of years. Daniel Davis, welcome to supporters. Thank you for getting yourself a green name, and make sure that you use those emotes that you now have access to. And don't forget, you can also link your. If for those of you who didn't know, if you have become a member, you can link your YouTube account to your Discord account. And then you have access to the supporters only Discord channel, which is part of our Discord. Kagura Leader, do you know any info on the Stadia Connect content official you already know about but can't say things about? Well, if I did, I certainly wouldn't say that I couldn't say things about it. Ryan Hudson, Nerd Nest Tour. I mean, it's just one room, so you get to see most of it. I don't know if I can do this easily. So let me see. I don't know if I can do this, but let me give it a shot. All right. Press run ready. So now I'm going to see if I can do this here. Let me go to this screen right here. I'm going to do browser. Let me type something in. There we go. All right. Can you hear me? Test. All right, it works. So here's my arcade cabinet, which you can see is Asteroids Deluxe cabinet. It's hold on, I gotta mute this. Test. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's my arcade cabinet. It's an old Asteroids Deluxe arcade cabinet from 1980. Got it for $60. It works awesome. Now that I gutted it and put a RetroPie in it, because the board, which is actually right here, that's the board. It was fried. So there's my arcade cabinet, and then here you can see my shelves. There's a sign my wife got for me. It says "Run, Jump, Stomp." It's awesome because she's awesome. And then here's my first microphone that I used to make a podcast. And here we've got Cuphead and Samus, and I don't know how echoey this is. Is this too echoey? Is this very echoey? There, I turned off my speakers, so now there should be no echo. So there's my Game Boy, which is a DMG 001, and there's some batteries that work for it. And you see I've got Tetris here, and Game Boy Volleyball, which came with it. And these are my coins and pins from when I was in the Army. So you get these for doing things, and so like you do something and like somebody's impressed. Can I do that sideways? I can. Cool. If you do something and somebody's like, oh, you know what, they did a really good job with that, they give you a coin if they're higher up. So I've got a few of them there. And then those are the pins that used to go on my uniform. Where is it here? So Pacific Vigilance, because I was in military intelligence. And then Noche Ostem. I don't know how to say that. Here's Sonic the Hedgehog, who looks really cool. I'm just going to look real quick. Can you guys tell me, does it sound okay? Does it sound okay? All right. So then I've got my Sega Genesis here. And this is BitBoy, or Pocket Go. And then this is the old Star Wars radio dramas they were on NPR back in the day. Really, really classic radio series. It had Mark Hamill and Anthony Daniels in it, which is very cool. Here is a lunchbox from the 70s. Well, actually from the 80s, because it's Empire Strikes Back. And then here are my Edge of the Empire rule books. And then here's my ukulele. My wife got me this ridiculously cool poster of an old Atari controller joystick. And then she also got me this one of an old Game Boy, which is ridiculously cool. Here's one of the things that I got for being a contestant on So You Think You've Got the Talent to be America's Next Top Podcasting Idol, also known as America's Next Top Podcaster. I was a contestant on that. You should check out that show. I was on season 1. And we got some other cool stuff here. People always ask, how do you get your controllers on the wall like that? They are guitar hooks. So if you look, there's the guitar hook for my ukulele, which I got specifically for my ukulele. And then I was like, well, hell, my controllers will fit on there. Okay. There's my Pac-Man sign that I ended up ordering because somebody told me about it. Like it was on sale someplace, and I went on the website immediately and bought it. And then there's my Pac-Man light. This is my don't get old, kids. Bending down is painful. That's my Ruth Bader Ginsburg action figure because she is super awesome. And then we've got my TurboGrafx 16 along with my Calvin and Hobbes collection. I don't even know if you guys can see this or if you're still here. I got an old Zelda book right here. We've got my Wii U and some old Atari games right there. E.T., Yar's Revenge, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Raiders, Pac-Man, Asteroids. Here's my Steam controller, or one of my Steam controllers. I also have another Steam controller right there. And we've got my my N64 and my GameCube. And I just realized why I'm struggling with this is they mirrored everything, which is why I keep going the wrong way. Here's the Wii and my Super Nintendo. This is an extra button that I had when I was building my arcade cabinet. And then we've got a Japanese version of Zelda for the Super NES, or the Super Famicom in Japan. A giant Rubik's Cube, a boxed copy of Super Mario Brothers 2, a Commodore 64 Mini, We've got some old NES games here. Link's Adventure. Here's a sticker for the Botched Podcast, which is a fantastic D&D based podcast, comedy podcast. It's really good. And then this is a sticker that my buddy gave me, Tony P. Henderson. He's got a podcast called Oddcast. It's Tony P. Oddcast for obvious reasons. Then there's my Nintendo Entertainment System, and I've got a Virtual Boy here with a little tiny Arthas, the Death Knight. So then down here we've got Rob the Robot and Zelda, the original disc for the Famicom Disk System. What else we got here? We've got my Donkey Kong. It's like a little toy arcade. I had that when I was a kid. And then we've got my Power Glove. And this is Nintendo's first console, the TV Game 6. Then right here you can see my my 3DS right behind my Donkey Kong 2 Game & Watch. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. All right, so that's the stuff that you guys usually get to see. Here's the view that you don't get to see usually. This is the view from where I sit. So I've got my two lights up there, and my big old DSLR, and my heavy little microphone, and over here we have what I like to call the Russian pain machine. I hate this thing. Screw you. I hate this thing, but I ride it most days. My niece got me. Let me turn on the light. My niece got me this Millennium Falcon poster. And then this came with the NES Classic right there. And then here I've got a Star Wars poster. It's wood. And that was a gift from my daughter. This is actually the Asteroids Deluxe stuff that was inside the arcade cabinet over there. It was inside that. This is the instructions to the whoever owned the arcade on how to do it, how to use it. Then down here we have a wooden Zelda symbol that a friend of mine made for me because he's awesome. And then hiding right there next to this fan is a Murloc. And let's see. This is something that my dad made for me. He hooked a car battery, or not a car battery. He hooked a transformer up to some bare wire and then painted water on this piece of wood and then hooked the wires up and turned it on, and the electricity burned this cool pattern, and then he varnished it because it looked really awesome. This is my Elder Scrolls Online. I don't know what this thing is called, but it's really cool. But this is, here's my hand for scale. It's huge. And then this is what you guys usually see. So it's really not that big of a room for the Nerd Nest. So there you go. I'm back. Let me turn off the light. And we'll delete that. There we go. All right. I can't hear anything. Oh, I shut off the damn speakers. There we go. Does anybody know if a DNS helps with streaming? I have no idea. Oh, was I real loud? I'm sorry. I apologize, everybody. I had no control over it. Sorry, William. You guys cranked up the volume so you could hear me while I was on my phone. Ryan Hudson. By the way, I really enjoy your podcasts. I do wish you'd put them in one place and do like Bill's gaming podcast instead. I mean, look, this is the place that gets the large. It's weird because my audience is all over the place. So on YouTube, StadiaCast gets a lot more interest than Nintendo Switchcraft ever did. Nintendo Switchcraft gets far more downloads per month than StadiaCast does. StadiaCast does, I don't know, I would say a tenth of the downloads that Nintendo Switchcraft does. Nintendo Switchcraft people tend not to care about the video, and the StadiaCast people tend not to care about the audio, if that makes sense. If I suddenly started doing a bunch of Nintendo stuff on this channel, which I would love to do, a lot of the StadiaCast people would be like, knock it off. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how we could go about it. But I appreciate that you listen to everything, Ryan. How long did it take you to get the arcade cabinet in there? It looks like it was a tight fit through that door. It took about 20 minutes. It was me and a buddy of mine. We brought it up the stairs in a hand cart. It was very, very difficult. But the thing that's hilarious is the arcade cabinet, like, it has a slope to the top of it. And this was not planned. The slope of the arcade cabinet exactly matches the ceiling. I don't think... Like, look at the slope. Look at the slope of the ceiling, because we're in an attic, right? Look at the slope of the ceiling, and then look at the slope of the arcade cabinet. It's crazy. Michael Mooney says DNS can help get load websites faster only. Oh, okay. Dev Shua, can I ask how you capture Stadia footage? I get odd latency issues when trying to capture Stadia footage via Chrome for friends. Dev, what I would say is, are you using OBS? Because that's what I use. Jem, any quick, straightforward tips to lose weight that helped you? I noticed the exercise bike. So here, I'm going to show you guys something. First off, for those of you who don't know, we have a channel on our Discord called Get Healthy Together. So if you haven't joined that Discord, runjumpstomp.com/Discord, there is a link in the description down below. I'm going to show you a picture that is pinned in the Discord. All right, it is a picture of me and my wife from, I think 11 years ago. Okay, here you go. That's me and my wife 11 years ago. I'm just letting that sink in. All right. So that's me and my wife 11 years ago. And then here's us 1 year ago. Now, I'm a little heavier than I am in the picture here. Right now, I'm a little heavier than I am in that picture that you guys are seeing. But there's 11 years ago, and then there's 1 year ago. So there's a 10-year difference here. Okay? So my advice to you is, number one, exercise is not punishment for the food that you ate. Okay? Don't think that you can eat whatever the hell you want and then just work out extra to get rid of it. That's not the way it works. 95% of getting into shape or losing weight is in the kitchen. Don't eat garbage. And I have a problem with this. I have a big problem with this. I am not diagnosed or anything, but I think that I have an eating disorder. All right. By the way, Michael Mooney, thank you for the super chat. I don't know if I said thank you. I just realized that you did a super chat. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah. No, what the hell was I just saying? I got distracted by the super chat. Oh, yeah. I think I have an eating disorder. I'm addicted to sugar. And if I eat just a little bit of sugar, then there's something in my brain that breaks. And I will have to eat tons of it. So, like, I'm going to give you an example. It was like 2 years ago. I had a student who, she was such a sweetheart. She knew that I love candy corn. I love it. It's disgusting, but I love it. And she brought me a big bag of candy corn because she knew that I loved candy corn and she liked my class and she liked me. And she was just like, here you go. Have a bag of candy corn because you're cool. And so this was a big bag of candy corn. She gave it to me first period, the beginning of the school day. By the end of the school day, I had eaten the entire bag of candy corn. All of it. I felt sick to my stomach because of how much sugar I ate, and I was still eating it. And then after work, I got in the car and I went to the gas station and I bought 3 candy bars and I ate all 3 of them. I have a problem with sugar. And the thing about that kind of problem is that it's perfectly acceptable. You know, everybody around you is eating, like, we'll have like these potluck things at school where a bunch of teachers will bring in stuff and then you're socially pressured to come down. Hey, Bill, why don't you stop by? Well, I don't know that I want to come down. Why not? Well, I don't want to eat that stuff. It's bad for me. You know, I'm trying to lose weight. And then they'll be like, come on, Bill, just come on down. You can come down and have 1 donut. But then I have the 1 donut and then I have 5 donuts. You know? And so I end up binge eating. I don't binge and purge. I just binge. And that's when, you know, you end up binging and you end up looking like that. And unless I am incredibly super regimented with my eating, I end up having that problem where I balloon up real fast. So first off, you have to know your limitations. My limitations are I can't have anything that I like to eat. That's my limitation. I can't have stuff that I really, really like. And I'm going to get to the new supporters and super chats in a second. I just can't. Because if I have the things that I really, really like sweets and ice cream and chocolate and stuff like that, I can't stop. So that's my number one piece of advice is you got to know yourself. And you might tell yourself it's okay if I have a candy bar because I can have just 1. And if that's true, that's fine. But most of the time you're lying to yourself about that. All right? So the second quick tip that I would say is get an app. I use this app called Lose It. It is free. There's a paid version, but there's a free version as well. And Lose It, you just put in the food that you eat. All right, I just ate this. You tell it how much you weigh, you tell it how much you want to weigh, you tell it how fast you want to lose the weight, and you put in your food, and it's like, this is how many calories that you can have today. All right, that's it, no more. So you put in your food, you put in your exercise, and you will see the pounds come off. But my problem is when I start to see the pounds come off, because right now I weigh about 215, which is about 25 pounds more than I would like to weigh. When I start to get to that point where I'm happy with how I look and with the number on the scale and with how my clothes are fitting, that's when I start to fall down. And I'll be like, well, it's okay if I have one, because there's something wrong with my brain. There's something miswired with my brain, and I end up just shoveling the food in. And next thing I know, it's out of control again. And I stop putting food in the app, and I stop working out every day, and it's just bad. So I don't know whatever. It's going to be different for every person. But there's my advice to you. All right, eat food that is not processed. All right, Astra, listen. If you say Fortnite on Stadia, please again, I am going to mute you because it is annoying. We've all seen what you said. Relax. Okay? Just relax, dude. Also, don't drink soda. Soda's so bad. So very, very bad. Yeah, absolutely. Rest is right. If we had news about Fortnite, we would tell you. Yeah, look at the side of a can of soda. It's like 150 calories for one can of soda. Diet soda is still bad. Diet soda has aspartame in it, which is real bad for you. I have a diet soda every once in a while. Most of the time when I first off, FET, Fortnite is not kiddie stuff. It's a good game. Anybody who comes into a place and says that this game is only for kids and that adults shouldn't play it, I'm not interested in your argument. But yeah, the only time I really drink soda is when I'm feeling sick because the bubbles feel good on my throat. But yeah, diet soda's bad. Bad for you. Kenneth says energy drinks are my kryptonite. Yeah, I don't think you should be drinking that stuff either. Water. Drink water. Wait, did Fett say to drink beet juice? Oh. That's gross. How long have you played video games? The first game that I remember playing, like vividly, was Donkey Kong in the arcade at my grandmother's bar. I was a little kid. My grandmother worked at a bar, and she had like the day shift. It was more like a club, like a sportsman's club. And she worked at this sportsman club during the day, like in the afternoons when people, like I gotta say it, like the alcoholics who spend all day in a bar, like they would be in there, and my mom would take me there so that she could hang out with her mom, and she would open up the drawer and give me a bunch of quarters, and I could go into the game room and I could play pool and shuffleboard and Donkey Kong. And that was the first game that I really played. And then there's that Donkey Kong 2 Game & Watch that's behind me. I had that at home. Used to play Centipede and Dig Dug on my 2600 for hours as a kid so many years ago. Yeah, I had a 2600. We didn't buy it new. I bought it used. I lived across the street from a golf course. And I used to go into the woods and find golf balls that, golfers had hit. And they got a hook on it or a whatever the other thing is called. I can't remember, where it curves the other way. And it goes into the woods and they can't find it. And I would go into the woods and I would find golf balls, and then I would go and sell them to golfers for 25 cents a piece. And I sold them a bunch of golf balls and ended up saving up my money to buy an Atari 2600 used from the pharmacist who worked at the store that my mom worked at. Slice, thank you. It was a Slice. So it was either a hook or a Slice. That came with a bunch of games too. Like the pharmacist had bought the system and a bunch of games, and then he just wanted it out of his house. So he ended up selling me the Atari 2600 and like 20 games for it for $50, which was a ridiculous deal. And I took it home and I hooked it up to a black and white TV that we had. We had picked up at an old TV repair shop, and I used to play the hell out of games like River Raid and Keystone Capers, and a bunch of other games, and E.T. And on the shelf behind me, you just mentioned River Raid, or not River Raid, but Yar's Revenge. That's on the shelf back there. River Raid was awesome. Keystone Capers was also really awesome. Jarrus, Orcs Must Die 3 is a pro game on Stadia. One news spoiled before the Connect. Yeah, we've talked about that, Jarrus. What's my favorite game of all time? Zelda Breath of the Wild. Hands down. Super easy question to answer. What's your favorite game of all time, guys? Is F1 on Stadia better than PS4? I don't know. I haven't played either of them. Jonathan says, any idea why publishers aren't announcing any Stadia versions of their games on the digital YouTube stream events? Example, Namco still won't show the Stadia logo on Vampire and Masquerade. I'm sure that there's reasons. Maybe it's not coming. Maybe they haven't had time to port it yet. Transport Tycoon, Army of Two, Nier Automata, Minecraft, Left 4 Dead, Elite on the Commodore 64, Crazy Taxi. Oh, I loved Crazy Taxi. That had a great soundtrack too, from The Offspring. F1 2020 is my most anticipated game of the year. For me, my most anticipated game of the year has got to be Baldur's Gate 3. Lloyd loves Skyrim. And if it comes to Stadia, he's buying it again. Super Mario World is your favorite? Super Mario World is really good. I loved Super Mario World. When I was in high school and the Super Nintendo was announced, my friends and I, we had Nintendo Entertainment Systems. We did not have the money to go out and buy a Super Nintendo. But the local department store had a Super Nintendo that you could play for 5 minutes. So we would always get on our bikes and we would ride up to Woolworth, which was the name of the department store. And up on the second floor, they had an electronics department. And in the back of the electronics department, they had the Super Nintendo. And we would go in there and we would take turns playing 5 minutes of the game before the game reset. And we would do that over and over. We were just amazed by how awesome that game was. Until whoever was in charge of the electronics department would say, all right, get out of here, you guys. And he would shuffle us off. Ryan Hudson says live stream for it. I'm assuming you're talking about Baldur's Gate 3, Ryan. Most likely. Oh, Fett says Lemmings. I remember playing Lemmings. That was a great game. Res TV. I rented a Super Famicom with Super Mario World from the local import show before SNES launched here. You had to give them $400 cash deposit, and it was like $50 for a weekend with one game. Yowzer. That's a lot of money. My parents never would have said yes to that. But I do remember my friends and I riding our bikes down to the local video store. It was actually... so there was a place called Farm Mart or something like that. And it was basically like a pharmacy and, you know, they like a department store. And then inside that store, off to the left, they also had a video rental place. And we would go into the video rental place and we would rent games. It was crazy. They would do $2. You could rent a game for $2 for the weekend. And we'd go there and we would rent games and take them home for the weekend and play the hell out of them. You can always play arcade games at a batting cage shop. Ended up getting N64 for her 8th birthday. I remember playing arcade games, of course, at my grandmother's bar, like I said, but also at the bowling alley. Like, that was something we did all the time when I was a kid because there was beer there. And so, like, my parents would go there and they would drink beer and we would order, like, pizza and we would do bowling and pizza and then dump quarters into to Ms. Pac-Man at the arcade and joust. I have really fond memories of that. We don't have bowling alleys. Like there's bowling alleys here now, but they're just not as good as they were when, you know, back in the 80s. Maybe that's because I'm old. Jonathan says, I ever played Leisure Suit Larry games in the old days. I love that kind of adventure games back then. Yeah, I had Leisure Suit Larry. I shouldn't have, but I did. Manuel playing solo, a great story, or organized multiplayer with friends. Oh, which do I enjoy the most? I enjoy multiplayer. 100%. I enjoy multiplayer games more. That's probably why I've been spending so much time in Elder Scrolls Online lately, because our guild, which has over 130 people, I think, at this point, like, we get on and we've been doing guild runs and stuff in dungeons, and I've been having an absolute blast. Multiplayer is great with story. It depends. The best multiplayer story-based stuff that I ever played was Star Wars: The Old Republic. And the reason why it was so good was because there was a way where when you were in a dungeon and it came time for a story element, like, the action would stop, there would be a cutscene, and then you and the other players could, like vote on what you were going to do, and then the game would roll the dice to see which character actually interacted with excuse me, with the NPC. So I played a bounty hunter, and I had made like a decision tree of how I would do things as a bounty hunter. So my bounty hunter would take a job. He wouldn't kill anybody unless he had to, but if he was paid, he would kill somebody. If he was paid to kill somebody, they could not bribe him in order to not. Like, if he took a job, he was going to complete that job. So you would go into a dungeon, and I would have a quest to go kill this guy or whatever, and they would be like, all right, I'm going to offer you this many credits to let me go. And I would always say no. But sometimes my partner in crime or whatever would be like, yeah, okay, that's fine, we'll do that. And it made for some really cool, it felt like D&D. Fat wants to know how you find friends online to play with. Just join our Discord. If you're over 18, you can join our Discord. If you're not over 18 and you join our Discord, and I think you're under 18 because you act immature, I'm going to kick you out. All right, but join our Discord. There's a link in the description down below. And the reason for that, by the way, is because I'm a teacher. I don't want to hang out with kids outside of school. I don't think it's appropriate for me to hang out with kids outside of school. So that's why if I think you are a kid, I kick you out. Because there's no way for me to know if you're one of my students or not. So I kick people out that act immature. Anyway, join the Discord. You can find people to play games with. Yeah, most of the people on our Discord are casuals, Fat. Very casual people. I'm casual. Sam, it's good to see you, man. Take it easy. You're over 50 and you feel even older. Well, it's not the years, Fat, it's the mileage. Hey there, Ahmed. Good to see you too. So, what games have you guys been playing lately on Stadia? Highly Intelligent Rabbit. Have I been playing any more in Crata? I load up Crata, and I've got this world that I've built, and I want to do certain things in, but I don't know how to do them. And it's just so much easier for me to make some progress in Elder Scrolls than it is for me to make progress in Crata, because I don't know what I'm doing. So, like, I end up shutting it off. It's really cool, and I have this cool idea that I want to do. Yeah, I got you guys to help me with that. I understand that, but I want to make one that's just from me. Nikki D, would you like to try out Starlink when it would be officially available? I don't have any need for it. Unless it's cheaper than the internet that I have now and faster. I need my internet in order for my business. I need my internet to be real good. So I'm going to let other people worry about that first. ESO, The Crew 2, and some Monopoly with the kids. Yeah, Starlink sounds cool. I'll wait until it's actually working before I get interested. They talk a good game, but we'll see. I am hopeful but skeptical, if that makes sense. Monster Boy is cool. That's a cool game. Michael, has Lloyd finished Doom Eternal yet? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Lloyd got stuck on something and he ended up saying, I'd rather play something else than bang my head against this wall. Red Dead Redemption 2, I've poured hours into. I'm not even halfway done. I've heard that game's fantastic. Rice, hey Bill, did you manage to finish your house in Creta? Sort of. I mean, it's not finished, but you know, next time I do a building stream, you know, you guys will join me and we'll work on it some more. Later, Jem. Have an awesome day. By the way, you guys should follow Jem on YouTube. Enjoy making the medieval room. It was fun with the lighting. Rice, it was awesome. Tumbleweed Ridge in Creta is strangely compelling. I haven't tried that one yet. What kind of game is it, Lewis? Started doing that today after your comments in Discord. I don't remember what I said. Bill, would you ever be interested in making an educational game in Creta? I mean, not me, because I don't think that that's the best way for me to teach. Many students will disagree with me, but that's because they're students. A lot of people think that playing games is the best way to teach somebody. And now that may be the best way to get somebody interested, but I don't think that's the best way to teach somebody. And so I tend not to do a lot of games in my classroom. And while my students might say, hey, how come you don't play Jeopardy when it comes time to review for the exam? Well, because I have better ways to review for the exam. And while they may not agree, they'll say, well, I learn better when we play games. No, you don't. You have more fun. There's a difference there. So making an educational game, I don't think I could make an educational game that would do as good a job teaching somebody something as I could teaching them my way. Now, if instead we were talking about just teaching problem solving, then that completely changes. But if you're teaching content, well, and then there you go. Those poor kids. Yeah, those poor kids learned something, though. I teach high school, Ryan. No. See, you're taking everything I said out of context. I didn't say that doing things that are fun means that you don't learn anything, but you don't learn as much. Raise your hand if you have a master's in secondary science education. right, there you go. What the hell is an extra work class? I've shamed you into having water instead of cola for my Zoom call. Well, there you go, Sam. I hope that helps. What made me want to be a teacher? I had to. So when I was in the Army, I worked for the NSA. And one of my jobs was to build web pages that other intelligence agencies could use. Not web pages like on the actual internet, but like on the military internet. So I had to build web pages that other agencies could use in order to get the information that we were finding, if that makes sense, because I was a cryptographer. And because I knew how to make a website, like this is back when you had to like type out HTML, because I knew how to make a website, they asked me to teach people how to make websites, and that was really, really fun. Stadia Hunters. I was agreeing until the part where you don't have a degree, so I know better. That was a joke. Stadia Hunters. Yeah, that's where I got the coins on the back shelf, Eric. Hold on, my son's coming up the stairs. All right, I'm back. Science, Wabbit. I teach science. Yeah, we did manual coding back then. Remember writing pages with a notepad, writing source code. Now it's so easy. Yep. Oh my God, you had to tab stuff around. Like you didn't have an IDE now in order to write code. Yeah, unfortunately, many schools don't require that kids learn how to program, which I think is a huge mistake. I think every school should require that kids learn how to program because it's really good for problem solving. All right, see you later, Sam. Your master's is in instructional technology in schools, later renamed instructional design in schools. Wait, they renamed your degree after you earned it? That's weird. Oh, you teach Scratch. Okay, that's cool. I wish that we did that. I wish it was a required class. Oh my god, I don't know if it was logo or not, but I remember doing the turtle thing in like in 5th grade. I do think Creator would be good for computer science in schools if you can get it in there for free. Hi, kitty. Marvy's talking a lot. You guys want to see Marvy? That's my cat. William, I don't know if I said this, but thank you very much for the super chat. I didn't see that earlier. Thank you for your deeper connection with your chat and the great advice. Thanks for watching. That was like almost an hour ago, or a half an hour ago. I apologize. Wouldn't schools need an upgraded networking infrastructure to work with Crata? I mean, it depends on the school. That's right, that's Stadia Cat. His name is Marvel. My cat looks like your cat monkey? No, your cat monkey looks like Marvel. By the way, we're gonna go for another 10 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna call it. Well, I'm happy to have you here for the first time there, Maximo. Who is programming the stuff behind Crata? Well, I mean, is doing that. But, I mean, you can open up Lua and do some scripting. Now, the difference between scripting and programming, I'm not going to weigh in on what the difference is because I don't really know. Who's doing the program behind the program behind the program? My robotics teams are starting with Spike Prime this year. We have been NXT and EV3 for years. That sounds really cool. I think that more schools should have robotics teams. It's really expensive, though. You know, if the school can't afford that kind of thing. Am I doing a Stadia Connect co-stream? Jonathan, yes. Both Lloyd and I will be live doing a co-stream right here. I haven't made the thumbnail or decided on the you know, or put it up on YouTube yet. But yeah, we're doing a co-stream. So hopefully you guys will be here for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think the Connect is going to be really fun. I'm curious if you're going to be here. Let me know in chat. Are you guys going to be here for the co-stream? Yeah, we knew that that Crata used Unreal. They said it when I talked to him. You have a holiday anyway? Yeah, that's the thing about doing a co-stream is that chat is actually useful. When you do When you go to the actual stream, chat is just a disaster because there's so many people there. Yeah, Joe, trust me, I know. I make, I still make videos for my students. I'm trying to get everything that I normally teach in the form of a video in case we close next year. Manuel says, I have to say I'm a bit worried about the Kinect. If they under-deliver, it will hit hard, I think. Even if they under-deliver, you have to remember that Google is playing the long game. Just because we don't... Look at how Google operates. They put something out early, and then they slowly iterate on it over time. They've always done this, and they're doing exactly the same thing with Stadia, and people are surprised. And I don't get why people are surprised. Because it's not a box that they have to sell us, they can keep iterating on it and making it better and better and better. Do you think Stadia will be announced on Android TV tomorrow? I mean, you can already sideload it, right? So maybe? One way to not be disappointed is to manage your expectations. That's true. I don't expect them to deliver the world. Darren Pogue says, iOS support, please. Listen. Right, here's my iPad right here with my Stadia logo on it, which is over here. I would love to be able to play Stadia stuff on this device. Yeah, 200 gigabytes is nuts. Kenneth Reed, I would like World of Warcraft on Stadia. I would like World of Warcraft to have full-on controller support. Now, we know that they have done that, or that they have the hooks in there, but will they actually commit? We'll see. Joe says iOS won't happen until iOS 14 update. Just because they make an announcement doesn't mean... Just because they make an announcement doesn't mean that that has to be like, and now we have iOS support. They could say, and by the way, iOS support will be coming in the fall with iOS 14. I'm a lot less interested in World of Warcraft after playing so much Elder Scrolls Online. I've been having so much fun with that. I'd be more interested in Final Fantasy 14, but I don't think that that's going to happen this year. I think maybe next year. Next year, I think that we may hear about Final Fantasy 14 coming to Xbox as well as Stadia. Probably not Nintendo Switch, just because it doesn't have the storage. Would I love news on bringing The Witcher 3 to Stadia? I don't see why they wouldn't. They'd probably hire the same company that ported it to the Nintendo Switch. McLaren Maniac, are you foeing? I don't know what that means. Foeing? Is that like some cool kid new phrase? I just want some free-to-play games sometime soon. I mean, I want to see what their plan is for free-to-play games. I think that we'll have free-to-play games. And I think that you'll have to be a pro member for that. And that doesn't bother me at all. I think that's perfectly reasonable. For me, as an ex-PlayStationeer from the 90th, I assume you mean 90s, Chromecast and controller are the best setup. Yeah. Maximo Night, I've never played ESO, and I started playing when it came to Stadia, and man, I am thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, me too. McLaren Maniac, are you doing a video on F1? Oh, okay. No, probably not. I didn't get a review copy, and I'm certainly not going to buy a game to do a review on it because that's not a game I'm really interested in. If they send me a review copy, then I'll play it so that people can see what it's like. I'd probably do a best visual quality video on it, but they never sent me a review copy, so no. We got about 3 minutes left, and then I'm going to end the stream, everybody. If you guys could do me a favor and click on the like and subscribe and bell, that would be really awesome. Logo Writer. Logo Writer? What the heck is that? Laura 4, so she will go to bed if you say goodnight. Good night, Laura. I hope you have a great night. What is Logo Writer, Matthew? And thank you, Emilio. Smooth Criminal, I can't wait for a native app. Had problems with the Chromecast Ultimate in a hotel during the 4th. Well, I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. Hotel Wi-Fi is garbage. Every time that I've used hotel Wi-Fi, I've been like, yep, this is bad. That's why usually, if I'm going to go anywhere, I download videos to my iPad before I go anywhere. What? He's being very whiny. What? Oops. Cat fur everywhere. All right, everybody. That's Marvel. That's my cat, Marvel. I'm going to go. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know it was a shorter open mic, but you guys are fantastic, and glad to have you here. I'll see you guys around. I hope you guys stay awesome, and have a great day.